Hi there, and welcome back to my channel where I share these podcast recordings along with some tutorials, tips, and tricks that I've learned along the way, as well as my personal experience through a coding bootcamp. Thanks for tuning in, and welcome to today's episode. So if you've been here before, you know that I absolutely love notebooks, and it seems that I have one for just about every single occasion. And over the weekend, I found one that I had when I first started my coding bootcamp. It's this cute little leather one that I got for my birthday, and it's full from beginning to end. And within here, I saw a lot of the notes that I was taking with the things that I was struggling or just questions that I had as I was starting off my bootcamp. And like I said in one of my previous episodes, some of the things were so simple looking back at them. But one thing that stood out that I wanted to talk about today was the importance of building a community from the very start when you're learning to code. So as I've mentioned before, I attended an entirely online bootcamp, so I did not walk into a classroom with 15 other students who were learning at the same rate that I was. I was in a community that had students spread all around the globe with different time zones, learning at different rates, which was really great and awesome because I've met people from around the world through this community. However, that lack of classroom made me realize the importance of having a community and building those relationships from the beginning to help you better advance through your learning journey. So here are the 5 ways to create and maintain a community when you're learning to code. Let's go ahead and jump into number 1. So for the first point, I want to share why I think it's important to build a community in the first place. It's pretty straightforward stuff, nothing too complicated, but the reasons I think it's important to build a community is to have moral support, because learning to code is hard, especially if it's something that's brand new. You're going to face some struggles and hit some walls, and you're going to want somebody there to cheer you up when you're down. 2 is to find technical support in people that you trust. So you definitely want to have some developer friends on your side, whether that be expert senior developers or actually something that I think is almost a little bit more helpful when you're learning to code is other students who are just barely ahead of you because they just went through the same struggles that you're currently going through. So they may have a better understanding and be a little bit more patient in trying to help you out when you're stuck on anything technical. You also want an accountability partner, whether that's another student who's learning at the same rate as you or someone that you live with who's going to make sure that you're reaching your goals and committing to learning to code on a daily basis so that you can reach those goals and become the developer you've always wanted to be. And last but not least, the reason why I think it's important to start building a community now is, and as much as I hate this, having a network when you're looking for jobs is so important, and it might actually help you land that dream job of yours when you're done with a boot camp or when you're done learning to code. I actually hated this concept when I was looking for jobs right out of college because, and here goes my little rant, how come some dude whose uncle works at a company can get a job before somebody who has years of experience, a degree in whatever expertise field it is, or is actually super qualified for the job, but the person who knows somebody within the company is going to get that one leg up when interviewing? And though companies may not say that, I think that still holds true. So having that network of people can give you credibility when you're applying to certain jobs. Okay, on to number 2. Something you might not believe about me is that I'm actually pretty shy, or at least I used to be. I really would get so nervous having to go up to somebody and introduce myself. Like, it was my biggest fear, and still thinking about it is very cringeworthy, like going up to a stranger and saying, "Hi, my name is Laura, do you want to be my friend?" That's so weird, such a weird concept. But anyway, since I got into development and since I joined a bootcamp and since I found the importance of building a community, I have kind of gotten over that fear, and now I sort of love going up to strangers and introducing myself because of how many times I've done it now and made such awesome friendships and build awesome relationships from simply introducing myself. So I want to share kind of how I got over that shyness and what to do and how to introduce yourself, whether it be online or to somebody in person. So since we're talking about coding and the world of coding, then I'm assuming that a lot of the places that you're going to end up having to introduce yourself will be either online in a Slack channel specific to learning to code, or in person at a hackathon or a meetup or something in which the environment is already coding related. And that in and of itself should relieve some of the pressure of introducing yourself, because everybody there in that Slack channel, in that Facebook group, in that hackathon is there for the same reasons. They're all already have something in common, and a lot of them are probably just as new as you are, or have recently been new, or have at one point been new to the group. So everybody's kind of been there, and just knowing that takes off a lot of pressure, because automatically you can relate to everybody in that room. Whether the person you're introducing yourself to is way more advanced or not, you have something in common. And if they are more advanced, this brings me to another point, is just ask them about themselves. Ask them what got them into development, what they do, how they like it. Have them talk about themselves and share their experiences. And in that alone, you are already learning. And if you're asking these questions, then that means less talking for you and less nervousness about not knowing what the heck is going on around you. So that's pretty much it. Coming from somebody who was super shy, it just takes a little bit of push and a little bit of encouragement to get yourself out there and meet new people and not be scared, and just strike up a conversation. See how many awesome relationships you'll get out of it. So another thing that you could do to help your community is to initiate either study groups or set up accountability partners. So find 2 or 3 people who you can be accountable with, who will push you and make sure that you're reaching your goals, as well as you're helping them keep on track with their scheduled goals as well. And if you have people that you can meet up with in person in your city, of course, once all of this COVID stuff is over, then by all means, set up Saturday study groups. I have one that I go to on Saturdays, or at least I used to, and it was so helpful. We help each other out. We go through different coding challenges together. We learn from one another, and it's just that accountability of showing up every week. And you just build these long-term relationships with people who are in the same boat and who could help you out now and in the future. So if you feel like there's nothing happening around you yet, then be the person to make it happen. Be the person to invite others to study with you or to build a project together and learn with each other. And that will just help build your community and make it stronger and make it more reliable for one another. So just remember that it's more than just asking for help whenever you are stuck. Which brings me to point number 4. So one thing that my online bootcamp did was it kind of made up for a classroom setting with a really strong online presence. On so many occasions, I had been stuck on something and I just reached out to that online community. There was always at least 1 or 2 people who were willing to help, and willing to not just help answer a quick question, but willing to get on a Zoom call with me and share their screen with me and really help explain something until I learned it. So having this community really is just uplifting and supportive, and you want to be as much part of it as you possibly can. And this kind of bleeds into my 5th point, which is how to maintain relationships. So I have graduated from this bootcamp over 6 months now. And even today, I still talk to a lot of people that I've met online, and just that, having those relationships, keeping up with people's journeys and seeing where they're at and seeing what they're learning and what they're wanting to share can be really awesome. And not only that, you end up having friends from all over the world, literally all over the world. So that pretty much sums it up for this week. It was pretty straightforward. I think the importance of a community is super crucial when you're learning to code, but also it's a great way to maintain relationships and be able to tap into that network at any point in the future. So my action item for this week, if you haven't caught on, is to find yourself a community that you can be a part of. If not, start your own community or reach out to an old buddy of yours and see how they're doing. Thanks for listening. If you want to watch the recorded episodes of these podcasts, head over to my YouTube channel at Suitcase Coder. Feel free to find me online at Suitcase Coder, or just head over to my website at www.suitcasecoder.com. Thanks for listening, and until next week, ciao!